Hey everybody, what's up? It's Scott the Frozen Gamer! Woohoo! Woo, woo, woo! I'm back here with my top 100 games of all time, and we're going to be going through 40 through 31 today. So sit back and chill with me for a while as we go through these games. Yeah! So we're going to start off right away with number 40. This fell exactly at number 40 the year before as well, which is crazy because I don't look at my lists in between and it hit the exact same spot. This is a game I just love and I don't own it, but my friend Jeremy does. It's called Detective Club. And this is by Alexander Nevsky, and iGames is the publisher of it. And it was hard to get for a while. I don't know if it still is, but if you can get your hands on it, it is worth it because it's super good. And what you're doing in Detective Club, if you've played Spyfall before, that it's similar to that game. So there's going to be the person in charge, and they're going to look at their hand of cards that are Dixit-style 3D, not 3D, it'd be really crazy if it was 3D, surreal art on these cards. And you're going to look at them and think of how you could kind of connect two of them and think of a word to make them connect, but you don't want to make it too obvious. You're trying to figure out who like the counterfeiter is in the game, who the secret person, the person is that doesn't know the word. Not that's what everyone in the game is trying to figure out, except the person that who is the leader for the round. They just kind of sit back. So they're going to put down a word. Maybe it'll be like complicated, and they'll have two cards that fit with the word complicated. And they'll put down a card, and everyone will see that card. And then, again, everyone will know the word is complicated except one person because you have this little secret pad that tells you what the word is. And if you're the person that doesn't know the word, it will just be blank. So on your turn, after the leader plays down a card, when it comes to you, just go in clockwise order, you'll play down a card. You don't say anything about it, you just lay it down. And then everyone's laying it down. And when it gets to the secret person, the person that doesn't know the word, they have to lay down a card from their hand that should fit hopefully what everyone else is kind of laying down on the board and will somehow fit in. And then you go around and then you do it a second time. You play down a second card. So everyone will have two cards laid down at the end. And then the leader, this is different from Spyfall, and this is why I like the game so much. The leader will say what the word is. So in Spyfall, you never know what the word is. And then if you're the bad guy in Spyfall, you have to come up with and figure out how to play along with everyone else without knowing what you're trying to play along with. This one, you know exactly what the word is. So I would say, if I was the leader, I'd say complicated. Then I'd go, well, here's why this card is complicated. Here's why this card makes sense with complicated. And that was my reasoning. Then the next player will go and be like, well, I laid down this card, of course, because this shows that it was complicated. And I laid down this card because this showed that it's complicated. Eventually, we'll get to that person that didn't know the word was complicated. Now they do, and they'll be like, well, you have to come up with like a lie on the spot. Well, I played down this card because obviously this shows that my card was showing complicated on it. There's a game of chess. Chess is a complicated game. On my card, there's this chessboard, and so that's why I played that card down. And I played this card down because blah, blah, blah. And you just come up with a lie on the spot. But at least you have that word. You know what you're lying about a little bit. So, and then after everyone says why they placed down their cards, you vote on who you think didn't know the word. And you hope that you get that person correct. So that is, and then the person that was the leader is kind of playing along in hopes that the person who didn't know the word doesn't get people to vote on them. So that is how the game is played. It's really cool. I love the fact that you know that word so you can just make up with a lie, and you still have to be quick-witted with it. You can't be like, oh, I played this down because, No, you still have to be quick, and make it believable, and be confident with it. Like, this is why I played this card down as complicated. I played it down because of this, even though you had no idea why you played the card down, most likely. And then some of the cards you have in your hand are just bad. So you can be a good person. You have to play down this card that was for complicated. I'm like, well, I played it down for complicated because this was like the best I had. And I had I kind of had a little bit of complicated here. And then people are like, well, man, that looks really fishy. That does not sound right. You don't sound confident at all. And so it gets mixed up that way. And it's just so fun. It's just crazy fun. And just a lot of laughs when playing with it and coming up, hearing people's explanations and why they played that card down. And it's a lot of fun. If you like Spyfall or A Fake Artist Goes to New York, if you like Dixit or Stella or Mysterium that has that type of art in it as well, I think you'll really like this game, Detective Club. My number 40, it was, did I say what it was last year? It was 40 last year. Yes, I did say that. It has a 4.9 thousand ratings on BGG, a 7.4 rating on BGG overall, and it is ranked 875th. I ranked it 40th. That is Detective Club. Well, between this video and my last video, I've hit a streak of a lot of games in a row that I do not own, that I wish I did. And this one is number 39. It was, let's see what it was. It was 28 last year, so barely fell. And it's because I didn't play it. And that is Creature Comforts. This is by Roberta Taylor, KT Kids Table Board Gaming, KTBG, is that what they called it? Is that what it stands for? Kids Table Board Games? Something like that. KTBG. You'll recognize it from the cover right here. All of KTBG's games, or lots of them, have this same artwork style, which is by, this one is by Shauna J.C. Tenney. I don't know if she does all of them, but they always kind of look like that. So anyways, this is a worker placement game as well. But what's cool about this game is if I remember correctly, it's been a couple years since I've played it, but you're kind of gambling on your worker placement because you have to have the right die rolls to actually activate the workers that you place down. You have to have the right dice to make that action work. So you're kind of gambling because you get to put your workers out, you roll your dice, you put your workers out, and then you only roll half your dice, you put the workers out, and then you have to roll like another half your dice or something like that after you put your workers out, and hoping that you get the right rolls so you can actually do the action where you have your workers. But it's a very friendly game. It's a very positive game. So even if you can't do your action there, you get something, like I put my worker down here, I didn't get the right dice to play it, but I will still get something positive instead that I'll get to help me in future turns. So there's never a negativity in this game. It's just such a positive game, and you don't get that a lot. And there's still the tension in the game, and it's beautiful. The components, and I played the deluxe version, the Kickstarter deluxe version that my friend Brandon had. Just beautiful with awesome components. I think the base game still is pretty great though, and yeah, I've never played a game where it's just been like such a positive feeling going all around the board. You can get in the way of other people in the game, but it doesn't really affect you too much. And ties are friendly in the game. Everything's just friendly, and all the art is friendly and uplifting. And it's just such a positive. The vibes are just so positive when playing this game. And that's why I like this one so much. Is it the best game I've ever played? No, but it gives me these vibes that are just different than most games that are like competitive or all this weird like social deduction tension, because I like social deduction style games, hidden traitor games. And no, this one's just positivity. Yay. And yeah, just a great game. That is Creature Comforts. It is, if you want to know the theme, it says, winter is coming. Prepare your burrow so you and your family can be comfy, cozy. It's all little animals in the game, just cute little animals. And so it is ranked, it has a 6.5 thousand ratings with a 7.4 overall or average rating on BGG. It's ranked 697th. And for me, it is ranked 39th. The 38th is a new to me game. It just came out in 2024. I said I played Brandon's copy of Creature Comforts. I also played his copy of Rock Hard 1977, my number 38. So again, don't own this game as of yet. So the theme of this game: rehearse, play gigs, get a record deal, and become the most famous rock star of 1977. This is designed by former rocker Jackie Fox, and it's DeVere Games is the publisher. And what you're doing in this game is kind of a worker placement style game where you're putting your little worker out in different sections of the board that do different things, all rock based. This game for me is all theme. The whole reason I love this game is the theme. The gameplay is great itself, but the theme just carries it because it's so thematic. Every little place that you put your worker on is something thematic. The controversy of the game is that there's candy in the game. It looks like little candy, the components wise, but it's supposed to be drugs in the game because obviously rock and roll lifestyle, especially back in when this is supposed to take place in the 70s, lots of drugs, right? But they want to make it family friendly, so they call it candy, and it's cute and it works. You have little trackers on your board, which is your player board's an amp, and you have little trackers that go up to 11 on it. Spinal Tap. So yeah, it's just nailing theme. You're trying to build up your rocking career. You start out as like a fledgling artist until you are a superstar playing, stadiums by the end, if you're lucky enough to do so. Don't think I ever played a stadium in my game. Or the biggest venue, I think it's a stadium, if I remember correctly. And you also, so at the beginning of the game, you have to have a job while you're doing it. And you have to go to your job. If you miss your job too many times, if you skip out on your job too many times, you call out, you're going to get fired. And eventually you want to get fired because you've built up your career enough that you want to be performing and touring or whatever and playing bigger venues. You don't need your little side gig job anymore. So you eventually want to get fired. But at first you need your job just to survive because it gives you resources or whatever it gives you. I don't remember, even though I just played it a few months ago. So it's really cool. It's really thematic that way. As an artist, if you are an artist, as an artist myself, you know that you take jobs and then you might have to get rid of them because you booked something and it will interfere with your job. And you have to say, see you later. Maybe I'll see you again if you'll rehire me, but I have to go because I have to do my gig because that's my real passion in life and my real skill. So that's kind of what's going on in this game, at least at the beginning until you make it big. It's a great game. Jackie Fox knows the business. She was from the Runaways. She knows the business more than any of us do. So she really nailed the theme on it and just made it. You feel like you're living through this lifestyle as you play it, as abstracted of a way as it is, and as abstracted of a way of feeling it. It feels that way. So I can barely talk. Maybe I've had too much candy recently. So it's a 2.9 thousand rating on BGG. It's got an average of 7.5. It's ranked 1,154. It's my number 38. 38, new to me game this year. Not 38 new to me, 38th overall, but it is a new to me game. Rock Hard, 1977. My number 37 dropped from 34. I could see it getting higher again. I haven't played it over the past 2 years, so it's stayed basically the same over the past 2 years, but it was higher at one point. And if I played it again, it's been like 4 years probably since I played it. And I'm actually going out tomorrow to pick up the expansions in a trade that I made. So I'm going to have the expansions to add to it, which I'm super excited about and will make me really want to get back to the table sometime soon. And that is Tom Vassal's game, Nothing Personal. So this is a Mafia game. It was by Game Salute was the publisher at the time. And now they redid the game a little bit different than this one. I would get this version if you could get it, because I think it is the better game than the newer version. And the theme says blackmail, bribery, crime, negotiations abound, but only one can be the next mob boss. So the coolest part about this game is you're all different mob families and you have this gangster pyramid that's on the main board. And each spot in the pyramid has a gangster on it. And you're trying to influence those gangsters and control them into your mob family. So the top one is the capo, however you pronounce it, capo. And then down at the bottom are just like your underlings. And next is your vice president of the mafia. That's not what they're called at all. I can't remember. It says on the game board, but I don't have that open right now. And then there's the bean counter, the accountant. And it just slowly works its way down to the underlings at the bottom. And the soon to be the wannabe gangsters that will soon join the family. And what you're trying to do is you're influencing them. You're doing this area majority game where you're influencing them. And everyone's putting their little family tokens on them. But if you get too many family tokens on them, they will be arrested by the police and they will go to jail. Also throughout the game, you'll be influencing these gangsters to make hits on the gangsters above them. So the capo may not stay in charge the entire time. And the other thing that's really cool about this game, let me see if I can open it up and get it out real quick, is, let me just open up one of the decks of cards here. So this is how much power they have, and that's how much money they'll produce in the game. For each gangster will have these 2 stats on them. So, and then they'll do extra little powers on them as well. But these will match up with different spots on the board will have different stats as well. So this 8 could turn into a 10. This 0 could turn into a -1, depending on what is on the board next to it. So that's a really cool aspect about the game. So it will never, this may never stay this guy's real stats, because it'll be affected by where they are in this pyramid of gangsters on the board. And I think that is super cool in itself. The game is played all over the table. It's just a heavy negotiation game. You can make any negotiations you want in this game. You can break any negotiations you want in this game. It's a mean game. It's yeah, man, it's cutthroat. So you are going to be angry with people in the game because they're going to do stuff that affects you and really hurt you. And if you get too far out in the lead in this game, you're going to be a target in this game. It's one of those type of games. And it's all, I mean, you are playing cards down and you're affecting these gangsters, but because it's open negotiation, you can make any negotiations and really team up with someone for a little bit before you backstab them. And yeah, it's tough. It's a tough game. And you got to know that going into it, I think. And it's kind of long. I think that's maybe its downfall. It's a little on the long side for a game of today. This game came out over 10 years ago, 13 years ago. So I think it's a little bit dated that way. Maybe there's a couple other fresh mechanisms that you can get in the game. The components, I mean, Tom said when he was, I remember listening to him at the time, I was listening to the podcast regularly at that time, the Dice Tower podcast. And I just realized my box got heavily damaged when I probably traveled back from New York to Minnesota. Just realized that for the first time. And anyways, I remember him saying he just wanted top-notch components, and the components in this game are just as good as any Kickstarter component that you could get now. Maybe they'd have some like minis in the game somehow for each of the 100 gangsters in the game if they were doing it now on Kickstarter. But yeah, it's just a well-made game. A little dated, but still a ton of fun if you like that cutthroat, mean style negotiation game. I do. I love games that you play over the table. If you play them over the table as much as you play them on the table, I'm probably going to get suckered into liking this game. And I did with Nothing Personal. Wonderful game. My son has been wanting to play this game since he was 5 years old. I said, no, the theme is not okay for you. Maybe even since he was 4 years old. He loved looking at the cards and just putting them on the pyramid himself. It's such a cool little mechanism, and it just makes you want to monkey around with that mechanism just by looking at it. My son, who knew nothing about the game, just wanted to play with these cards on this pyramid, and I'll probably get him to play it now. He's old enough now that I think he can give it a whirl. Its age says 8+, he's 8, so maybe it will be time. That is Nothing Personal. It has 2.5 thousand ratings on BSG, which is criminally small for this game. I feel like so many more people should be playing this game. Should have played this game by now. It has a 7.0 rating. It's ranked 1,922nd overall, and it's my number 37. That's Nothing Personal. So let's go back into social deduction hidden traitor games. And my number 36. I think it fell a bit. Let's see. It fell from 18, so double its ranking from before. And that is Battlestar Galactica, the board game. Number 36, Battlestar Galactica. This game is impossible to get now. It's super pricey. It's going to cost you over $100, maybe $200 to get the game now. So there's a way to get it, though, and that is Unfathomable by Fantasy Flight Games. This is by Fantasy Flight Games as well. The designer is Corey Konecka. And if you get Unfathomable, you're basically getting the same game. It just doesn't have the Battlestar Galactica IP in it. It's Cthulhu themed. I love the Battlestar Galactica theme. And here's the cool thing about this game. You do not have to watch a show to enjoy the game. I played the game probably 2 times before I started watching the show. And I loved the game. The first time I played the game, I was like, whoa, this game is crazy good. So what you're doing on the game is one person's a Cylon who is the bad guy. Actually, there will be 2 Cylons by the end of the game. And there might not even be any in the first half of the game. You don't know. They might both come out in the second half. One could come out in the beginning and one in the second half. And you're trying to battle the Cylons. Everyone else is good, and they're trying to battle the Cylons. The Cylons trying to pretend they're infiltrating the good people and pretending they're good, and secretly sabotaging the game as it goes along. It has a 3.25 rating, or weight rating, complexity rating for the game, and which is high. That's high because, and I get it, because there is a lot of fiddly rules in the game. However, the game consists of you taking an action. It's 1 or 2 actions, I don't remember off the top of my head. And they're very simple actions. It's either an action from your card, or an action from the board, or an action from your player card. It's all you can do in the game. And then after you do that, you flip over an event card, which is always bad, and you deal with that. And that's where the Cylon can sabotage things. Some of them just you have the board games, the actual board of the game has the Battlestar Galactica, the spaceship in the middle, and then has outer space all around it. So you'll be doing, it starts out empty, but eventually, or it starts out with actually guys, and then eventually you'll clear them off, and then more bad ships will come out in it, into outer space. And so some of the cards will just have you add more ships or activate those ships so they start attacking the Battlestar or Galactica. And then there's other cards, though, where just bad things are. You have to perform these tasks, otherwise bad things happen. And you perform the task by playing your hand of cards. You have to get rid of your hand of cards that have numbers from 1 to 5 in them. And you try to get a certain threshold. So maybe you need like 11 points of cards of green and yellow. So maybe everyone puts in enough green and yellow cards to get it to 14 points. But then someone puts in some blue cards that knock it down to 10 points, which would make you fail that event. And bad things would happen. If you get 11 or over, then you get to choose from possibly a better bad thing. Sometimes you just ignore it instead, or sometimes you do get a little positive. It just depends on the card. And that's basically the game. You're just going through, taking your actions, doing an event, taking the actions, doing an event. And all at that time, you're trying to figure out who is sabotaging and putting in the wrong color cards. You don't always know, though, because there's this little like destiny deck where you take 2 random cards every turn too. So you might get like a -5 random card put into the deck when you're trying to solve an event or complete an event. And so you're trying to figure out, though, who could possibly be the bad guy, who doesn't seem like they're working with the team. It's out of this and Dead of Winter, and what was the other one I talked about? Nemesis. I feel like this one has overall the most tension from start to finish in the game. It's just overall tense throughout. You start off right away. You don't know if anyone's with you. You're ending the game. You still may not know who the other bad person is in the game. I've just had so many memorable games in it. They can go bad really fast. It's really, again, another one of these type of games that's really hard to win even without a bad guy in the game. And this one's guaranteed to have 2 bad guys in the game, unless one person gets stuck with both, which happened to me once. I couldn't pass off the second bad guy to someone else just through bad circumstances. Still that game still makes me angry. But usually the bad guys will win because it is hard enough just to survive without having bad guys in the game. But overall, great. I love the theme. Now that I've watched Battlestar Galactica, it makes me appreciate the game even more and the theme even more, even though I loved it before I ever watched it. So if you can get your hands on Battlestar Galactica and you want to lay down the money because you love the theme, do so. Otherwise, go with the Cthulhu theme of Unfathomable, and it will still be a great game if you like these style games. It has 38,000 people have rated the game. It has an average of a 7.7 rating. Overall, it's number 125. I believe it used to be in the top 100 for a while. And for me, it dropped from 18 to currently 36. That's Battlestar Galactica. My number 35. I might have started talking before I was back in frame. Rookie mistake. My number 35 is Hot Streak. This is a new to me game. It just came out this year. Let's look at it. It is by John Perry. I should have known that, who also did Spots. And CMYK is the designer of the game, who just had a stellar year last year in 2025. It just came out in 2025. And this, as you can see here, there's 3 standing up mascots there, a hot dog, a queen, and a bear, and the anglerfish has fallen down. That was a production design, but it makes perfect sense in this game because the mascots are falling all the time. What you do in this game is, well, first, this box, you pull out the track for the game from the box, which is super cool, and then it's got a little wind-up mechanism, which I'm not going to show you because I can't do that without putting it on my table. But you wind it back up and then it goes right back into the box. Anyways, you have a little racetrack and all 4 of these guys are going to be racing. You don't own any of them. You'll have like a hand of like, what is it, 2 or 3 cards that are dealt to you. And you get to put in one of those cards into the deck. And that will be secret. But then the majority of the deck that is going to be used for this race will be public to everyone. So you'll kind of see what cards are in the deck. What the cards do, they'll move you forward. They might move you forward and then to the right a lane, so you might start running in someone else's lane. They might have you trip and fall over. They might have you turn around, so the next time you play a card, it will have you start running the wrong direction. They might have you running backwards, so even though if you turned around on the previous card that was played, and then you have a run backwards card, you're going to actually be running backwards, but towards the finish line. And you might fall over, and then you play a card, and you just crawl 1 space forward. That's the game. If you land on someone else, you knock them over. You crash, and you knock over the other character. If you run off the board, you're disqualified. And so you'll see what the cards are in the game that are they going to be running backwards this game? Are they going to fall over this game? You'll know, except for the secret card that someone put in. Then you're going to bet. They have little cards, and you're going to bet. You're going to grab a card on your turn. It's in the draft order. You grab a card. It's a snake draft. And you'll be like, well, I think the queen's going to win, so I'm going to take that card. But as you take it, you have to decide, am I going to take the safe bet, or am I going to flip it over and take a risky bet, which will pay off more if I'm right, but pay off less if I'm wrong, or pay off negative if I'm wrong. Because on the negative ones, when you do the negative ones, the ones that are risky that are negative are side bets. Or you're going to take, there's one little deck of cards that you'll shuffle up, and it will have one side bet that you can bet on as well. Will there be people on the finish line space that haven't crossed the finish line when the winner crosses? Stuff like that. And then you just race them and see what happens. You do like a little auto battler type of thing. You shuffle up the deck and you just flip over a card and see what happens. And all this chaos occurs during the race. And it is so funny. Then what's really cool about it is after the first race, someone will shuffle up the deck and take out a handful of cards and give them to people. So they'll then look at their hand with the card that was from the former deck, and they get to put another card in the deck. It could be the same one that just got taken out, or it could be a new one. So you can slightly influence the race every single race. You do it 3 times. At the end of the race, whoever has the most money wins. And that's not even a rule in the game, though. That's what's funny about it. It doesn't even say whoever has the most money wins. That's just everyone interprets it that way. Because then at the end of the game, they have this little thing, and it gives you like a little movie line, like 80s movie line tag. Like, this is what happens to you after the 3 races. So if I earned like $72, I look at the 72 mark in this little booklet, and it tells me what happened to me. And they're all comical, and they're usually bad. Like, oh, he bought a horse with his money, and that horse ended up dying. I don't know, some stupid thing like that. Then he lost all of his money and went broke. So that's how the game ends. It's just a laugh riot of a game. It's like one of those dumb games that are so dumb it's fun. And that's what this game is. And you'll just be laughing a ton during it. It has a 1.22. That's its complexity rating. It's super simple. I played it with adults. Like, I played it with my parents who are in their 70s. I played it with my kids who are in their single digits of age, and just have had a great time every time I played this game. I played it too much at this point that I don't always want to reach for it when asked for, because I played it so many times. But It is a 7.9 rating out of 4.7 thousand ratings, currently ranked 405th on BGG, and ranked 35th for me, new to me game this past year. Well, I can't even get this out of screen. So my number 34, dropping from 15 this past year, is Karuka. I was really smitten when I got the game. Still smitten with this game. And what it is basically you're mixing up carom with like crokinole, kind of. So you'll start out with a bunch of red discs here, and then you'll have a black disc, a brown disc, a pink disc, a yellow disc, a blue disc, and a green disc. I said carom with crokinole. It's carom with crokinole and snooker. You need to know snooker is like the main part of the game because that's the gameplay is actually snooker. So on your turn, you'll have this white cue disc, like a cue ball, but it's a disc, and you flick it, and you have to hit a red one in on your first turn. If you get a red one in, then you can go for any of the colored ones. If you get a colored one in, which are worth more points than the red ones are worth 1 point, these ones go up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 points. Black is worth 8 points. And so if you get a red one in, you hit one of the color, you go for a color one. If you get a color one in, then you go back for a red one. The color ones, once you pocket them, will come back out on the board in their spot. The red ones always stay in the pockets for the entirety of the game. Once all the red ones are gone, then you have to get all the color ones in order, which is pink, which is yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black is the order. So you have to get those in order. You have to hit those in order to have them count. There's penalties in the game like a pool game would have, like Snooker has. If you don't do it correctly, if you hit them in the wrong order or miss or whatever, there's fouls or faults in the game. And whoever has the most points at the end, once every single one is cleared, once all the red ones are cleared, then I said the color ones always come back out. They stay in the pockets once all the red ones are cleared. If you want a full rules video of the game, I have one on my channel here. And I'm going to toot my own horn here. It's one of the best ones out there about this game, Karuka. Whoever has the most points at the end, once all the discs are pocketed, wins the game. So why do I like this game? One, it is higher than Crokinole for me, which I do own a Crokinole board as well. It is higher than Crokinole. It's a little bit more accessible than Crokinole. It is very difficult to master. You're trying to do bank shots off a curved board. So that is very hard to learn. And it's hard to master, but it's easier to play. Crokinole, if I'm trying to play with like my kids, they always are hitting off the pegs. I'm hitting off the pegs half the time because I'm not that good at the game either. And this one, you can make mistakes and it's more forgiving than Crokinole is. And that's part of the reason. Part of it is just so fun to be looking at this board with just tons of discs out, all these red discs and all these colored discs all out, all over the board. It looks really beautiful. It plays really well. It isn't a shiny wax board like Crokinole, but you do put a little powder on it to make the discs go smoothly. This is all homemade by the Furnivals, I believe. Let's see here. This is by Jack Furnival. It's a self-published game, and I got mine from England. I imported it. Here's the cool thing, though. Tracy Boards, who does Crokinole boards, now started Jack. I don't know if he sold off part of his business to him or he gets a cut or whatever. I'm not sure how their business partnership works, but he allows Tracy Boards to now design Karuka boards. So you can get a Karuka board as well now without having to pay the huge fee of shipping it, which costs more than the game itself back when I bought it from England. And the other cool thing about this is that the board has a Lazy Susan on it. So when it's your turn, because it's not like Crokinole where you're always stuck on one side of the board, you're moving around like a pool table. You'd be moving around the pool table if you're playing snooker or 8-ball. And like that, you need to move around this board. But instead of having to make you get up and move around, it's on a Lazy Susan. So you just turn this top around and you'll have the exact right angle that you want to move to. Super cool, super inventive of Jack to do that, and his wife who helps him with the company. Also, you can get an 8-ball variant, which I don't have. I think it may come with it now with the Tracy boards. I'm not sure on that though. So look that up if you're going to buy this handmade game. And yeah, it's so great. If you like Crokinole, you'll like this game. Now, I don't know which one you'll like better, but this is you'll enjoy it because it's very similar. It has a similar feel to it. Just beer and pretzels. Let's just hang out and play and flick some discs in a competitive way while we're just hanging out and chatting in a casual kind of way. And I was just smitten with it. I saw it online and I was like, I have to get this game. And I really saved up a lot to get it. It's just something I'm proud to own. So that is Karuka. You'll see it on my wall, kind of hidden back in that corner behind my Final Girl stuff. And it has 269 ratings with an 8.2 rating. The 269 people that have rated it well. 5,312th ranking overall. And for me, it's number 34. That is Karuka. 33 for me, fell from 27 last year. That is Black Orchestra, but still ranking really high for me. So Black Orchestra is by Philip Dubarry, and it was published by Game Salute, who also did Nothing Personal. And Black Orchestra is a game about trying to assassinate Hitler, which is a theme that I am in love with. I love World War II games where you get to destroy Nazis. So in this game, you're going to be playing as a conspirator from either within Germany or France or wherever. I'm not even sure where they're all from. I don't think any of them are actually Jewish conspirators, but not conspirators. Guys trying to fight the Nazis secretly. I can't think of the word that I'm trying to look for. And so you're going around the board, and you can kind of see here. So the board has little tokens on them, and when you visit different cities, you'll pick up these tokens. And those tokens are important because you're also going to be collecting cards. And on some of the cards, they're just going to help you overall in the game. But some of the cards with powers and whatnot, but some cards are mission cards. And those mission cards are missions that you have to do to assassinate Hitler. So you need to collect the right amount of little tokens of the correct kind to be able to successfully use that mission. And that's easier said than done. At the same time, Hitler and all of his cronies are moving around the board. And if they get into the same spot as you, that is not going to be good. There's a good chance you'll be arrested. So you're trying to avoid them. And they have negative things that happen to you if you're in the same spot that affect your gameplay. And it just gets really, really bad. The game overall kind of feels like it has like a Pandemic style to it. It's a cooperative game. It kind of has that feel to it. It's kind of in that same vein of you play and then the bad guys do something, or event, you turn over an event card and something bad happens. So it has that kind of feel to it, but I like it way, way more than Pandemic personally. The game is, I'm thinking for a second, because the game, with those missions that you have to do to assassinate Hitler, you have to get like, what is it called? There's like a Hitler track where you need to keep that low. And then you need to have, when you do these missions, not only do you have to have the right things, like the right little weapons or whatnot that you've collected, the tokens that you've collected, you also have to be in the right spot at the right time. So maybe you need to be in a certain city with Hitler at the time that you do it, that you attempt this assassination. And then it comes down to a roll of the dice. And hopefully you've been collecting cards the right way that you can manipulate your dice enough and keep your suspicion low enough, because the suspicion has part of your personal suspicion was going to affect how you roll. The Hitler track is going to affect how you roll. And so hopefully you kept all those tracks in the right spot, and you have cards that can manipulate the dice, and you roll and you get a decent enough roll that you can manipulate it so you can kill Hitler. If you don't roll well enough, tough luck. You're not going to kill Hitler. You just wasted it. And hopefully, at the same time as you've been going about your first mission, you've had a backup, a plan B mission saved up that you can maybe attempt it one more time before the end of the game happens. And that's where all the tension comes in the game. The game's really thematic. We had a blast. We had this one time where I moved to a city, and then all of a sudden, Hitler and every single one of his cronies came down to the city. We were like, yeah, I was just having lunch at the cafe when all of the bad guys, all the Nazis came in. So I left the cafe, and then on the next turn, they left and landed on my same spot again and arrested me. And it was just so thematic. And there's just moments like that throughout that just make this a super thematic game. Obviously, you don't want to make light of the situation of the Holocaust, but at the same time, there's fun moments within this game. It's not just all dark and dreary, kind of like This War of Mine. This one has some levity to it as well. And it's just, yeah, it's It's tense. You have usually 1, maybe 2 shots of winning the game, and that's it. You're playing for a couple hours for those 2 shots to win the game. And it's just, yeah, it's a great game. They used the theme extremely well for this one. That is Black Orchestra. It has 7.4 thousand ratings on BGG, 7.5 average, 531, 7.5 out of 10, 531 ranking, and it is my 33 Black Orchestra. My number 32 dropped from 12, so it dropped 20 spots in the past year, but I still love this game. That is Fief France 1429. And this is probably my game of choice, my game group's game of choice overall when I lived in New York. This is a soldiers on a map type of game. It's very reminiscent to Game of Thrones. I like it a lot better than Game of Thrones, the board game. Personally, it's super thematic, and which is weird because the game's called Fief France 1429. How could it be thematic? Well, it takes place in France in 1429, and you're going to have what you do in the game is you are all different factions, I guess, lords and ladies, lords or ladies to start the game, and then you will eventually get more people into your household. So you will have lords and ladies in your household, hopefully, and you go around the board and try to take over the land from all the other people and destroy them on the map. But you're also, like, as you start owning land in it by putting soldiers out in it, you will then try to become a bishop through elections. Then you'll try to become a king through elections. You might try to become the pope because you'll become cardinals. And then from the cardinals, you might get voted in as pope. And as you get these different titles, you get new privileges that happen throughout the game. There is going to be bad stuff that happens. There's these event cards that happen where there can be floods that happen, or like just downpour of rain that destroy all the crops in the game, because you're going to be collecting crops and taxing on those crops. There could be a plague that happens that will happen twice per deck before you reshuffle. That is one of the negative games for some people, but it's super thematic. It's random. That's why people don't like it. It comes out randomly, and then it goes to a random different section on the board, and it affects that section immensely. I think, and our group thought it was hilarious. So you have to go in with the game of, going in with the right mindset that this game is a little random. And if you can go and play along with the randomness and the tactile nation of it, and the not tactile, but the tactics nation, the tactics gameplay of it, instead of having this deep strategy, then the game is just loads of fun. You will be assassinating. You have cards that will just be able to assassinate people, but they might have a secret door to get away from the assassination. One of the coolest parts of the game is that it takes, like, if you win solo in the game, you have to like have X amount, I forgot off the top of my head, X amount of stuff done in the game, of goals done in the game. But if you are allied with someone, then you have to do a little bit more. You have to have one more to win the game. And how you ally in this game is that you marry someone. You have your lord marry someone else's lady, or vice versa. And you become in a pact for the entire game, unless their lord or lady dies in a battle or get assassinated in the game, or the Pope can annul the marriage, but that you have to have the right circumstances happen. So once you're locked in with that person, you're locked in with that person for the game until they die. But sometimes you might want to kill your own spouse because you don't want to be in that ally anymore. They're doing really bad and you're carrying the whole team. You don't want to be allied with them anymore. I can win the game solo. So I'm going to try to kill my own spouse to not be married anymore, so I don't have that ally anymore. It's a goofy game. It's Game of Thrones, but goofier. Just to throw in the randomness, I play with the politics expansion every single time, which makes your person. So like I might be Benoit, my lord might be Benoit, but with the politics expansion, you get a title for him. So he might be like Benoit the Swift. So he gets to move faster than everyone else. But there's like bad ones, like he could be Benoit the Homely, where he can't get married in the game. That character cannot get married, so I cannot join an ally with that character. Now I might have another character that I can use instead. but there's stuff like that through the game. It's random. It just adds more randomness to the game. It just adds more of those goofy vibes to the game. And inside of all that goofiness, there is a good strategy part of the game too. The strategy, you're not going to win if you don't have good strategy. You also have to have good tactics as well. And I adore it. There's no other game like it as far as that has the same feeling for these type of games. I mean, Game of Thrones is so much more serious than this game. Game of Thrones made me, I just felt miserable kind of playing Game of Thrones, even though I like the game. This game, I feel good when I play it, even when bad things happen to me. So that's Thief France 1429. It is by Philip Mouche-Bouffe, and Asynchron Games. Academy Games has taken over, I think, in the reprints, if I remember correctly. At least I think they did Thief England. It has a 2.4 thousand people have rated it, a 7.4 rating. It's ranked 1,526 overall on BGG. I have it ranked 32. Thief France 1429. Hey, so you may have noticed some changes here. I'm in a coat now, and the lighting may have changed, and that's because it is nighttime. I shot in the daytime. My memory card ran out. I loaded everything into my computer, all my videos, and by the time I loaded everything in to clear the memory, my kids came home from school, and then I was busy with errands and with kids until this evening when they went to bed, and now I'm shooting right before I go to bed. And we are on number 31, the last of this 10. And so this game moved up from 54 to 31, and it is cribbage. So why has this game risen 23 spots for me? And why do I love this game so much? It is just my comfort game. It's a really easy game. Once you learn the rules, they're pretty simple. You're trying to get pairs and 15s and runs, and it flushes at some points. There's a couple other small little tiny rules here and there. But in the end, you're racing to get from the start down here, and you go around the board and up here to spot 121. If your peg gets into spot 121 first, you win. No fair ups or anything. First one there, you win. Someone will get 2 hands every round. They get the crib hand, which is an extra hand, thus the name cribbage. And that's the game. It's an old school game. It's from a long time ago. When did it come out? Let's check BGG. It came out in 1630, roughly. And that makes sense. It's a really simple game. Once you learn the rules, you're just kind of playing. Once you learn the rules and then you kind of learn a little bit of skill, then you just kind of keep playing and you kind of know what you're doing. And that's why it's become kind of my game of choice. I've been playing this game since high school. I started playing on online tournaments on this site called Ladder Monkey, which would then have you play the games actually on Yahoo Games of all places. And Ladder Monkey was just the place that hosted the tournaments. And, you know, I don't know if this is where Jeff from Foster the Meeple did his games, but he said he played tournaments when he was very young as well. And I felt like I was the only young person playing in the tournaments. I was in high school and just into college when I was playing on Ladder Monkey. So I thought I was the youngest one playing at the time because I was playing with them. I always felt like a bunch of older people, but maybe Jeff was there. I don't know. But I've been playing this game for a long time, close to 30, probably 30 years now, or just shy of 30 years, if not 30 years. And I just keep coming back to it. And that's why it moved up. Is it the best game on the list? No. But I always come back to play it. I play it in person. I play it with my wife's uncle all the time. I play it online all the time and on BGA. And that's my go-to game on BGA. I've played cribbage probably more than any other game in my life. So this is my comfort game. It's a game I love to go back to. It's simple. You can talk while you play it. You can do anything while. I mean, it's just such an easy, light game. Yet it's got a complexity rating of a 2.52, which would be like a midweight game. But it's not. Once you learn the rules, it's pretty simple. So Sir John Suckling was the gentleman that created the game. I know nothing about him. It has 11,000 ratings on BGA with a 7.1 rating. It's ranked 751 overall, and it is my number 31 game of all time. I'm really tired. I have to get up at 4:15 tomorrow because I work early in the mornings. So I'm gonna go to bed now. We have 30 games left, and a lot of this next chunk is gonna have a handful of new games on the list that I just played this year for the first time. So that will be exciting to talk about. Until then, see you next time. Peace. Stay cool.